Hakeem Jeffries drops mic on GOP clowns with last-second shutdown Smackdown. Holy hell. Folks, just when you thought the Republican circus in the House couldn't get any dumber. Hakeem Jeffries swoops in like a chess grandmaster and checkmates the whole clown car right before they drive the government off a cliff. Yeah, that's right, with a shutdown vote looming like a bad hangover. The Democratic minority leader pulled a stunning maneuver that left Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's bootlickers scrambling, red-faced, and probably crying into their MAGA hats. And get this, it all went down in the final hours before the deadline, exposing once again how these GOP geniuses would rather burn the House down than admit they need adult supervision. Let's set the scene, because this drama deserves a front row seat. It's late September. The fiscal year is about to flip, and the government funding bill is hanging by a thread thinner than Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's grasp on reality. Republicans control the House barely, with a razor-thin majority that's more fragile than a cheap lawn chair, and they're hell-bent on attaching all sorts of poison pills to the continuing resolution. We're talking massive cuts to social programs, defunding anything that smells like help for the little guy, and of course, a big fat wall of cash for border security theater that does jack squat for actual immigration reform. Sound familiar? It's the same playbook they've been running since Mr. Orange Trump Epstein slithered into politics. Screw the 99%, pamper the donors, and pray the base is too distracted by culture war BS to notice their wallets getting lighter. Enter Hakeem Jeffries, the guy who should be speaker if sanity ever prevails in that chamber. With the clock ticking down to midnight, literal government shutdown territory, Jeffries unleashes what insiders are calling a procedural nuke. He rallies Democrats, flips a few sane Republicans who are tired of the chaos, and forces a clean funding bill to the floor without all the extremist garbage. No riders, no slashes to Medicaid, no gutting of food assistance. Just straight up keep the lights on for America without turning it into a hostage situation. And boom, it passes in a bipartisan vote that has the Freedom Caucus screaming like toddlers denied their juice boxes. But wait, there's sarcasm gold here. The GOP leadership think Mike Johnson, who's basically a human bobblehead for Mr. Orange Trump Epstein, spent weeks bragging about how they'd force through their America First agenda or let everything crash. They whipped their members, threatened primaries, and paraded around like tough guys. Then Jeffries pulls this move, and suddenly they're the ones begging for a discharge petition to bring a Democrat-backed bill to vote. Discharge petition. That's Congress speak for. We screwed up so bad we need the opposition to bail us out. It's like the captain of the Titanic asking the iceberg for a tow truck. Priceless. Now, let's talk about what's at stake, because this isn't just inside baseball, this is life or death for millions. If the shutdown hit, federal workers go without paychecks right before the holidays. National parks close, turning family vacations into sorry kids stare at a fence disappointments. TSA lines become eternal hellscapes, FAA controllers work without pay, and food inspections grind to a halt. Hello, salmonella surprise in your kid's lunchbox. But the real gut punch, programs for the vulnerable take the hardest hits. That's nutrition for pregnant moms and babies starts running dry in weeks. SNAP benefits delay, leaving food banks overwhelmed. Veterans services stutter and Social Security offices close, stranding seniors who depend on those checks to eat, and who suffers most. The same 99% that Mr. Orange Trump Epstein has been kicking in the teeth since day one. People already stretched thin from his tax scam for the rich, his healthcare sabotage, his endless wars on workers. A shutdown means more homeless families because housing assistance freezes. More kids going hungry because school meal programs falter. More sick folks avoiding the doctor because they can't risk unpaid leave from jobs that barely pay the bills. Jeffries knows this hell. He lives it, representing Brooklyn, where real people fight real battles every day. That's why his move wasn't just smart. It was a moral gut check for the entire House. Dig into the details, because the devil's in the riders the GOP tried to sneak in. One gem: slashing billions from the IRS, ensuring fat cats keep cheating on taxes while the rest of us get audited for claiming a home office. Another: blocking funds for climate resilience, because who needs to prepare for hurricanes when you can pray them away? And don't forget the culture war crap defunding Planned Parenthood, banning diversity programs in the military. It's a laundry list of grievances straight from the MAGA fever swamp, designed to appease the base while the country starves. Jeffries' counterpunch. He unites Democrats behind a no-frills CR that extends funding at current levels for a few months, buys time for actual negotiations, and dares Republicans to vote against keeping the government open. A handful cross the aisle, the ones with districts full of federal employees, veterans, and folks who remember the 2018-19 shutdown that dragged on for 35 days and cost the economy $11 billion. Those moderates see the writing on the wall, play chicken with shutdowns, and voters remember who caused the pain, the reaction from the right, predictable meltdown. Fox News screams about Democrat tricks. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein blasts out all-caps rants calling Jeffries a radical socialist pot, meat kettle. The Freedom Caucus vows revenge, promising to primary anyone who voted yes. But here's the tea. Without Jeffries' gambit, the hardliners were steering straight into Shutdown City, and even they know the public blames Republicans when it happens. Polls show it every time people hate the chaos, and they punish the party holding the gavel. Flash back to the last big one under Mr. Orange Trump Epstein. Remember? Border wall tantrum, 800,000 workers furloughed, airports in meltdown. Contractors never got fully paid, small businesses near federal sites tanked, and the GDP took a hit equivalent to a small recession. All because he wanted his vanity wall. Fast forward and his acolytes are itching for round two, thinking it'll own the libs. Newsflash, it owns working families instead. Jeffries' strategy was textbook brilliant. He used the Hastert rule against them. Wait, no, Republicans ditched that years ago, but more importantly, he exploited their disunity. With a majority so slim, one sick day or vacation flips the math. He timed it perfectly, filing the petition, gathering signatures under the radar, and springing it when the GOP bill was floundering. Sources say Johnson was blindsided, scrambling to count votes while his conference fractured. Some wanted the cuts, others feared the backlash. Jeffries offered the escape hatch. Vote for stability, blame the extremists later, and the human story's God, they break your heart and fuel the fire. Imagine a VA nurse in Virginia, single dad, already living paycheck to paycheck after Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's policies jacked up his insulin costs. Shutdown means no pay, but the hospital still needs him. He dips into savings that don't exist, racks up credit card debt, maybe loses the apartment. Or the air traffic controller in Atlanta, working mandatory overtime without compensation, stressed to the breaking point, endangering lives because fatigue sets in. These aren't abstractions, these are your neighbors, your family, broader picture. America can't afford this nonsense. We're competing with China on infrastructure, tech, green energy, but instead of investing, we're debating whether to pay our bills. The debt ceiling looms again soon, another GOP-manufactured crisis. Jeffries' win buys breathing room, forces real budget talks where Democrats can push for investments in childcare, elder care, mental health, the stuff that actually helps the 99%. Critics on the left say it wasn't progressive enough, no big spending boosts, no debt relief. Fair point, but politics is the art of the possible, and averting disaster is step one. Jeffries positioned Democrats as the grown-ups, setting up contrasts for midterms. Republicans look like the kids who set the kitchen on fire trying to make toast. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein, from his golden tower or wherever he's hiding from subpoenas, cheers the chaos because it fits his brand. But Jeffries just proved you can fight fire with finesse. No screaming, no stunts, just smart parliamentary jiu-jitsu that saves the day. The bill heads to the Senate now, where Schumer's ready to rubber stamp it, then to the White House for Biden's signature, assuming no last-minute drama. But Jeffrey's move echoes. Democrats deliver, Republicans destruct. This is what leadership looks like. Not tantrums, not threats, results. While MAGA chases ghosts, Jeffrey's checkmates for the people. If this gets signed, and it should, it's a lifeline. No more homeless spikes from evictions during furloughs. No kids losing WIC formula. Workers stay paid, services flow, America functions. Pray it happens, because the alternative is the destruction Mr. Orange Trump Epstein wrought on the 99%, amplified. Cuts to everything that lifts people up, handouts to those already stuffed. Jeffries just threw a wrench in that machine. Stay tuned, because the budget battles are just heating up. But for one shining moment, sanity prevailed. Hakeem Jeffries, take a bow. You just saved Christmas for federal workers and everyone who depends on a functioning government, the GOP. Back to the drawing board or the circus tent. Either way, the adults are in charge for now. I just want to thank you all for listening. Like, share, follow to stay connected. I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the queen of crowning thoughts, because I say it like it is. Copyright 2025 independent writer, crowning thoughts truth speaker. AI video content creator, writer, blogger, Santiago DC, Maria. All rights reserved. Today is November 14, 2025.